1930s, a time of great uncertainty of where mankind was headed towards. Conditions were terrible with the stock market collapse, World War II, and this allowed many radical leaders to step up and take the masses by storm. This left mankind with many paths to pick from, which is depicted in Diego Rivera's Man, the Controller of the Universe, a reinstallment of Man at the Crossroads that has become one of the most political pieces of Diego Rivera, and it gained lots of controversy and popularity. The frescoes and murals of Diego Rivera portray the struggles of the commoners and communists against the dominant capitalists. Man, the Controller of the Universe was Diego Rivera's most prized and valuable fresco, as many come to say. This sits upon a deep history and motive which really reflects the ideologies of the 1930s and the many directions humankind could have taken during the time. Let's look at how Diego Rivera originated into mural painting extravagance. Of course, he was born on December 8, 1886, into the hands of a wealthy family in Guanajuato, Mexico. Yeah, that stuff is nice to know and all, but nobody's going to remember that. Alright, let's get straight into the juice. Rivera began drawing at 3, which is impressive, and soon attended the San Carlos Academy of Mexico. It only gets better from there, as he skyrockets his career with a scholarship to study in Europe. Other than discovering his first wife, a Russian artist, he gained inspiration from the best at the time, Picasso. Cubism and Impressionism were meta at the time, which Diego Rivera picked up on and incorporated into his own style. Alright, it is about 1914 that World War I begins, and Diego gains inspiration from revolutions, especially the Mexican and the Russian. This proved important in the content of his artworks. Now that this man was very experienced in art, it was time to begin completing commissions back in Mexico. So he flew back in 1922, where he met another woman and began mural painting. During the time, Diego was very fascinated with the idea of communism, therefore joining the Communist Party of Mexico. This meant that from here on out, his artworks would have some type of symbol promoting his political ideology. So Rivera began gaining lots of fame and respect as he finishes his first mural in 1924, a truly impressive one, the Feast of the Mural of the Dead. He soon makes his way to America, where he paints many murals of the working class against huge corporations. Alright, Rivera, being a communist, soon gets hired by Rockefeller, who is a capitalist, to paint this mural at the center of Rockefeller Tower in New York. What could go wrong? Commissioned by Abby and Nelson, the wife and son of Rockefeller, Rivera was asked to paint according to the theme, Man at the Crossroads, and looking with uncertainty but with high hope and high vision to the choosing of a course leading to a new and better future. This was deemed to be a mural painted in the lobby of Rockefeller Center. Rivera began working on prototypes, which got the green light. Next, he asked if the art could be painted with fresco. Now, Rivera used the technique of a true fresco, which meant that you put crushed up pigment onto a brush and then you apply it to wet plaster. So he paints. Now Diego Rivera, with a Latin American painting style, used very bright colors in the fresco to really bring it to life. The operation goes well until he includes a portrait of Vladimir Lenin. How about a compromise if I add Abraham Lincoln? Rivera refused to take it down after the request of Nelson, which resulted in him getting fired. The artwork was chiseled off and Rivera given his $21,000. Rockefeller soon hired Josef Maria Sert to paint a mural called American Progress. Anyways, Rivera knew his artwork was living on the edge of life and ordered black and white pictures to be taken so he could recreate it. That opportunity was fulfilled in the Palacio de Bellas Artes in Mexico City. He called this new reinstallment Man, the Controller of the Universe. The concept was based off of the Man at the Crossroads, but a refined version. Now, when I first looked at this painting, I thought to myself, how am I going to understand everything on this drawing? Well, I know one thing for sure. Diego Rivera knows everything that's on the painting that he drew. What if I drew it? So, I began drawing. Now, my drawing was nothing compared to that of Diego Rivera's, but it was something similar. Rivera's mural was an astounding 4.85 meters by 11.45 meters compared to mine, 3 printer paper by 4 printer paper replica. Starting on the left side, or ironically the capitalist side, the first piece I drew included a statue of Jupiter surrounded by soldiers, tanks, aircrafts, and warfare. A side of an oval could also be seen, which includes lots of microbiology. More specifically, diseases and things relating to death on the capitalist side of the oval. There was a cross around the statue with broken off hands, perhaps symbolizing religion, culture, tradition, and how it was dying off in the 1930s due to advances in science and education. The soldiers most likely demonstrate the horrors of capitalism and their constant greed for power. Now, I tried to copy as much details as Rivera's drawing on mine, even the infected penis in the corner. Moving on, the next piece I drew was more a continuation of the first one with all the soldiers and aircrafts. This next piece also continued the oval and its diseases, but most importantly, a machine can be seen, and this is a part of the machine that man is using to control the universe, as we will see in coming up pieces. Next, a black machine of some sort is placed, and around it there are riots due to famine and recent Wall Street crash in 1929. A bit to the bottom is Charles Darwin, and he is pointing at an ape which is out of frame, but it suggests his theory on evolution, where we came from, and next to him are students of different ethnic backgrounds learning from a teacher. It is very visible that there is also a giant mirror, and this mirror is actually one of the two in this drawing. They reflect two ovals of this piece, one oval holding the cosmos and the other holding microbiology. Right next to that drawing, rich people can be seen drinking alcohol, playing cards, and wasting their lives away. It is very tiny, but Diego Riera actually puts John D. Rockefeller Jr. in this frame, and above him he puts syphilis. Moreover, this kind of shows how the rich capitalists held on to all the money to themselves, and they were unaware of the collapse and starvation going on outside. Here we also see the beginning of a second oval which holds the cosmos. In this frame, the sun could be seen. Next, we have a corner piece, and this piece was just a continuation of the piece with Charles Darwin in it. And the only unique things in this frame is the patient with breast cancer and the monkey holding the hand of the child, which symbolizes Darwin's theory. Alright, that's all the capitalist side. Let's move over to the communist side. On the communist side, there's much more of the machine, but most importantly, early inspirations of the Russian Revolution pushed into the artwork of Rivera's. He includes a May Day demonstration at the Red Square showing the rise of early communism. Notice there is no violence on the communist side compared to the capitalist side. There's also a headless statue of Caesar holding a pillar with a swastika. And this shows how the new movement broke down traditions such as monarchy and dictatorship. And there are more for the people now. More features in this frame include Lenin's tomb in the back and more of the cosmos. Moving on, we have the focus of the attention. Man is controlling a machine with access to the universe and microbiology. Rivera includes a portrait of Lenin and farmers of different ethnic backgrounds joining hands to show a unity within the communist side. There's also a star in the oval of the cosmos, and it likely represents the star around the communist symbol. A giant hand can also be seen coming from a cannon, and the hand holds a sphere holding the process of cell duplication, which is essential to life. This shows how man controls all life. Over here, many portraits can be seen. There's Leon Trotsky, who was a leader of the Communist Party. Next to Trotsky in the beards are Engels and Marx, who worked together as great figures to promote modern communism. Surrounding them are people of the working class. In the oval, since this is the communist side, Rivera puts the process of the sperm and the egg, which creates new life, thus putting communism in a good light. Workers can be seen sitting on the head of Julius Caesar, and this once again shows how workers have the power to revolt against oppression. In the corner are female athletes in bright color, demonstrating peace and women's rights in communism. Finally, Rivera has drawn plants at the bottom with their roots, and it shows that the plants man has discovered and man's ability to manipulate the earth. Overall, this drawing draws attention to a man in the center and the technology which is sparked during the Industrial Revolution. With this technology, man is able to explore the outer reaches of space and microscopic biology. With technology ever growing, man has many directions to choose from, and they are paneled around. Rivera's fresco still draws heavy interest as it sits in the Palacio de Bellas Artes for the public to see. The artwork continues to reflect ongoing situations in our world. With America and Russia rising in power, which way will the world go? Might one ideology take over? It is up to man, or it is up to us to decide.